A unique non-conference matchup. Syracuse at Ohio, just the 5th all-time meeting, and the only other time Syracuse visited Athens. You got to go all the way back to 2009, a 70-54 Orange victory. We're back underway from the Convo, as they call it, here in Athens. J.M. McClure crossing the timeline from left to right. Over to the right wing, it's possessed by Kate Dennis. Double team emerges on Monica Williams, who backs up towards midcourt. Crossover move, lefty to righty on Woolley. Moves into the paint and floats a pass too high for Maddie Mace. However, last touched by Elena Reis. Possession remains with the Bobcats on the near baseline with 10 to shoot. Williams set to inbound, claps her hands on the ball, and finds Mace. Toss out to the three-point line with Williams, who drives near baseline. High off the glass, too strong. Offensive board by McClure, who backs it out to the three-point line. Step back, no good. The shot wasn't off in time anyways. A shot clock violation, and that's because that original layup attempt did not hit the iron, Ryan.
No, it did not. Just missed, and Syracuse has it going the other way.
Syracuse leads by 10 over 2 minutes into the second half. Deasia Fair dribbling on the right wing. Over to Elena Rice. Lob inside. Latham corrals and puts it home. The righty layup good. Some athleticism on display from the freshman. Syracuse leads by a dozen. 2.5 minutes gone in the third quarter. J.M. McClure doing it all herself down to the left block. Kicks out to Alper. Righty dribble, pass inside, Mace underneath for McClure. Back outside, Alper launches a three, off the back iron, rebound secured by Burrows. Syracuse has it. Ohio has not scored a point in the second half. Elena Rice, pass up top for Georgia Woolley. The Orange have made their last 5 shots fair. She thought about a long-range three, Steph Curry range. Instead does a no-look pass behind the back to Woolley, far corner. Over to the near corner, fair, triple, no. Off the rim, no good. Latham corrals the rebound, but the pass too strong from block to block. It deflects off Burrows, and Syracuse turns it over. The Orange outscoring the Bobcats by 11 to begin the second half. 6.5 left in the third quarter, 52-40. Orange on top. It's brought up by McClure, who picks up her dribble, top of the key, guarded by Burrows. Passed out towards midcourt. Monica Williams working on Woolley. She dribbles towards the right alley. Pass gets free from Alper and on the floor. She is tied up with Sophie Burrows. The possession arrow belongs to the Bobcats.
You mentioned physicality. There's been a lot of tie-ups in this game, over 3 already.
A lot of battles for possession on the floor. Inbound from McClure on the far baseline, who lobs it up for Mace. She has it, double-teamed, gets it free to McClure. The floater no good, and the release was late as well. A couple of shot clock violations early on in the half of the Bobcats. Syracuse picking it up on the defensive end.
Yeah, the Orange doing good to be aggressive. Great problems for the Bobcats in terms of time.
Austin mentioned it. Syracuse allowing under 60 points a game this season. They allowed 40 in the first half to Ohio here, but none in this quarter so far, as that pass to Latham in the far corner was deflected out by Kate Dennis. It stays with Syracuse halfway through the shot clock. Just under 4 minutes into the third quarter. Orange by 12. It's inbounded on the far sideline to Burrows. Back to Woolley, who's charging her way into the lane, and a foul called as she went up. The contact by Dennis, and the Australian earns a trip to the free throw line.
Orange doing good jobs of getting to the basket and making those physical plays.
Woolley 2 for 3 at the line today. And the junior swishes her first attempt. She was actually perfect at the free throw line heading into the day. Her first miss from the charity stripe came this afternoon. She goes 2 for 2 here, and Syracuse leads 54-40. 13-0 run here in the third quarter. All in the first 4 minutes of the quarter as well. Ohio still searching for its first points of the frame. Lefty dribble by McClure. Stop and start, moving to the lane. Adjust to her right hand. The floater won't go. but a foul against Sophie Burrows. And finally, the Bobcats have a chance to notch that first point of the half, Ryan.
Yeah, it's been a quiet opening start to the half for Ohio, but sometimes it's just about baby steps. Free opportunity to get a chance here.
And the first free throw is good. 7 of the 14 players on last year's roster return this year. As the second free throw drops in, the Bobcats coming off of a very difficult campaign last year where they went 6-23, finished tied for last in the MAC. Woolley over to the right corner, Syracuse in the front court. It's Deasia Fair, righty to lefty dribble, swing pass near side. Elena Reis, 3 off the front of the rim. Burrows battling for the rebound, and it's last touch by the Orange. Jaya McClure knocked it off of Rice, and the hustle is still on full display from Ohio despite the lead going the Orange was way in this third quarter.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
The second weekend in February means it's time for America's biggest game, and boy did Super Bowl 58 deliver last night. Welcome into sports. I'm Sam Reis, and we have to start things off with last night's matchup in Vegas between the Chiefs and 49ers. Let's get right into the highlights. This was the first touchdown of the game, late second quarter. A little bit of trickery. Brock Purdy across to Jawan Jennings, who fires it to Christian McCaffrey, who waltzes into the end zone. Then late in the third quarter, finally Kansas City getting into the end zone for the first time. Mahomes connecting with Valdez-Scantling. Late fourth quarter, Kansas City needing a field goal to force overtime. Harrison Butker does just that, 19-all. We go into overtime, and San Francisco gets the field goal to go. However, that means Kansas City with the touchdown wins the game. And of course, Mahomes finds McCole Hardman in the end zone. The longest game in Super Bowl history goes the way of the Chiefs as Kansas City takes down San Francisco 25-22 in epic fashion. That is 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls going the way of the Chiefs, and they win back-to-back titles. So sure, the Super Bowl highlighted yesterday's action in the world of sports, but there was another big game yesterday that occurred right here on the Hill as 23rd-ranked Syracuse women's basketball battled 15th-ranked Louisville. So we'll take you to the final moments of this one because that's when all of the drama took place. Syracuse trailing by 1. Deasia Fair fouled from behind by Olivia Cochran, but it's an intentional foul, meaning Fair gets 2 free throws and Syracuse gets possession. Of course, SU's leading scorer drills both of her shots at the charity stripe, and with just 2 seconds on the clock, Syracuse inbounds successfully, runs out the clock. The Orange win by a point. Another ranked victory for Syracuse as they improved to 20-4 on the season, and that was also SU's first win over Louisville since 2020. So while the women's team added to its list of signature wins this season, that's something the men's team has been lacking. On Saturday, Syracuse hosted Clemson in search for its second straight win. Of course, the Tigers coming to town also meant the return of Joe Girard to the Dome. Girard spent his previous 4 seasons with the Orange and led Syracuse in scoring last season. He was greeted by a mixture of boos and cheers from the Orange faithful, but he wasn't fazed one bit and led Clemson, as you see right there, with 18 points. He went 4 for 5 from 3 in a 77-68 victory for the Tigers. The Glens Falls native also notched his 2,000th career point in the late stages of this game. Clemson shot more than over 60% in this one, and the Orange were again dominated on the glass, losing that rebound battle 41-24. And finally, there was big offseason news for Syracuse football today. Pete Thamel of ESPN announced earlier today that SU's leading receiver, Damian Alford, has been dismissed from the team. The expectation is that Alford will graduate this spring and find a new destination for the 2024 season. There's now been 37 departures and 34 additions to SU's roster since the end of 2023. Guys, it's safe to say that Fran Brown, even though he took over just 3 months ago, he's been making a lot of moves, and I think a lot of people are excited around here for the football season already.
Maryland at the other end, attacking the right goal, has it at X. It's Eloise Clevenger. Corey Edmondson, who has Syracuse's number, feeds it over to Hannah Lubecker. The top threats for this Terps offense. Righty cradle on the right alley by Wiseman. Over to the left side of the 8-meter. Move inside. Shot hits the side of the net on the opportunity for Edmondson. And a Syracuse player went down There was some contact on the play, and it appears as though Bianca Chevry was the one who got hit, and the whistle goes Syracuse's way.
Yeah, Chevry had the stick knocked out of her hands right in front of Cage and run into, kind of squeezed into that position by Mackenzie Olsen, who was putting pressure on the Maryland attacker. So Chevry needs a moment to collect herself. Not only did the stick get knocked out of her hand, she got the face guard knocked up into the back of her hair a little bit. So shaken up on the play. Referee gives her some time, and a slow-moving start to this fourth quarter, Sam.
It really has been. We just had, we were afforded the benefit of seeing the replay of that collision, and you're right. That was a stick to the face. So Edmondson was actually given a yellow card. It's a 2-minute woman-up chance here for Syracuse, and in a tight one like this one, you never know. This could be the difference if the Orange can capitalize. Into the Maryland end, go the Orange. Up top, it's Natalie Smith at the edge of the 12-meter. Left side, Gracie Britton getting some playing time for Syracuse. Ward back and forth behind Cage. Over to the right side, goal line extended. It's passed up top for Adamson. Right around the 12-meter fan, Syracuse continues to move it clockwise. Ward finds the cutting Tyrell, and she rips it right into the cross of Emily Sterling. The netminder wasn't phased one bit. A big-time save from the grad student.
Sam, I cannot emphasize how poised Sterling has looked in goal all day for Maryland. She has really been the X factor because Syracuse has taken some great shots.
There's been plenty of good looks for this Orange team. Score still tied at 7. Syracuse has had 15 shots on goal compared to 12 for Maryland. Libby May couldn't corral the pass cleanly, but scoops it up 20 yards out from net. Right side of the 12-meter, Russo feeds it to Ahern. 4 minutes just about into the final quarter of play, and Maryland and Syracuse are knotted at 7 goals apiece. Russo, pass to Macy Clevenger at X. She's marked by Katie Goodale. Terrapin's in no hurry, shot clock at 30.
Shannon Smith onto the field for Maryland here, Sam.
She subs in as Maryland's offensive possession continues. A pass towards the cage. Schweitzer got a piece. Rebound scooped up by Shannon Smith, the player you just mentioned who came onto the field. And since Schweitzer made a stop there, the shot clock reset to 60. Smith down to the right side, GLE. Lefty to righty, cradle by Russo. Macy Clevenger marked tightly by Chevry. Peduzzi. Approaching 5 minutes into the final frame. Tied at 7. Eloise Clevenger straight on, and she pings the crossbar. From 10 yards out, she ripped one towards Cage and just missed the net. Off the crossbar, and Syracuse counters the other way. Across midfield goes Casey Benoit, and a whistle goes against Maryland.
Looks like a green card here as well. And yeah, it's going to be Megan Ball sitting down today. She's been penalized several times in this contest, so played good defense, had some trouble staying off the sideline at times. Just a 1-minute woman-up chance here for Syracuse, but the Orange are really buzzing on defense right now, and that crossbar shot pinged so far down the field.
That took quite the redirection.
It's almost to the Block S logo.
Emma Tyrell, right side of the 8-meter. Down low to the right side, GLE. Emma Ward has it on the left side of the goal line. Ward finds the cutter. Adamson shoots and scores! The junior with a quick release. She found the top right corner before Sterling could react. Syracuse is back in the lead. 9:30 remaining in the contest. 8-7 Orange in front.